Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on the Jordan 38 Low. So of course this is the low version of the Jordan 38, of course, obviously, right? And there is a little bit of a price difference, right? So this shoe, the high is 200 freaking bucks, which is really expensive, of course. But if you want to save $25, which is a good amount of money, and get the low, you should definitely get the low, because this shoe is only 175 bucks. I say only like it's cheap. 175 bucks is still very expensive, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now, this shoe feels exactly like the regular Jordan 38, which obviously that makes sense, right? But you're gonna save 25 bucks, which is a good price difference. However, the regular high right now is going for 150 bucks. You know, this colorway, I just looked on Nike.com and it is on sale because the Jordan 38 has been out for a while. So if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I'll try to leave the link in the description box. But let's get it started right off with the Tracciones, and of course the traction is literally the exact same as the regular Jordan 38, and that's gonna be the theme of this video, because it's the exact same shoe pretty much, right? And literally it looks it's the exact same, right? We have this translucent outsole in the low, and I have this translucent outsole in the regular as well, and we have a little bit of herringbone, of course, and we have this X thing going on, right? We got some circles too. So yeah, the Jordan 38 traction was pretty dang good on a clean court. It wasn't top tier, but it did pick up a good amount of dust for me. So the Jordan 38 was not my favorite because I usually play on a dusty court, right? So same thing here in the Jordan 38 Low. I feel like it'll probably perform exactly like it. It doesn't have amazing traction on my wood floors right now. And if I remember correctly, I think I needed to break this in as well. So yeah, that kind of sucks, you know what I mean? As far as the durability goes, I mean, durability feels like it'll be pretty good. The rubber is very hard, the grooves are thick, and also very deep. So you should be fine on an outdoor court. However, I don't like one thing, you know what I mean? Where the highway area is, there's no rubber. You're like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's very similar or pretty much identical to the regular Jordan 38. And now moving on to the heel to toe transition, I mean, pretty much the exact same as the regular Jordan 38, obviously, right? So we have a pretty rounded shape here in the heel, but also, as you guys can see, we have all this rubber, and this rubber is not soft at all, you know what I mean? Sometimes the rubber is pretty soft, like for example in the AG4, the rubber is, you can press it a little bit, it's kind of soft, you know what I mean? But here in the Jordan 38, look at that, it's very stiff, pretty dang clunky here in the heel. So it feels a little clunky in the heel, but it's not terrible. And then here in the forefoot, we have a little bit of a curved shape. It's not super curvy, you know what I mean? But also we have a lot of forefoot flex. Look at that, a lot of forefoot flex, super easy to flex as well. So it's a very smooth feeling shoe, and it's not super springy. I mean, there's a little bit of spring to it, but it's more just soft and flexible. So overall, heel to toe transition is pretty smooth once you get past kind of like the clunky toe, and obviously it's very identical to the Jordan 38. And now moving on to the cushioning setup, of course, also it is identical to the regular Jordan 38 with a full-length Zoom Strobel setup, right? So here in the Jordan 38, we have the same thing, right? We have the insole, and if you look underneath the insole, we have the full-length Zoom Strobel unit, which of course is covered by kind of like a nylon material. I don't know why Nike or Jordan brand covers the Air Zoom unit sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's fully exposed, sometimes there's like a nylon material over it, but it's literally the exact same. We have the insole right in the lows, and then we have a full-length Zoom Strobel unit with a material over that, which feels very nice. You know, it's super bouncy. There's a lot of compression right underneath the foot, and the heel and the midfoot, and also in the forefoot, because it is full length. And also here in the heel, we have pretty much zero compression because of all this caging. You can see how much they needed to cage this foam, right? So it's also using Formula 23 foam, which is this red foam. It's really soft. It's pretty much bottom loaded, right? But yeah, you can't really feel that really at all because of all this caging, and also you have the full length zoom strobo unit right underneath your foot. So it's the exact same as the Jordan 38, which feels very, very nice. Core feel is pretty good. It's not amazing, but you know, it's pretty good. It's just a full length zoom strobo unit, which of course is a very nice cushioning setup. I feel like most people do like it, but some people do say it's a little too much at times, and I agree with that. You know, sometimes I want something a little bit more responsive. So usually when I feel like that, I don't go for a full length zoom strobo unit. But again, as you guys all know, full length zoom strobo is very nice. And now moving on to the upper, of course, that is where it gets a little bit different. Yeah, also, it's also not that much different, right? So here in the regular Jordan 38, we have a pretty nice leather material. It's soft, conforms to your foot very well. It's also not super thick or stiff, which surprised me. It felt very nice here in the toe box, but in the low version, we have a synthetic material, right? So kind of like around the toe box, we have a synthetic material, and then over that, there's also another synthetic material that kind of goes all the way along the midfoot area, kind of where the eyelets are, right? And it doesn't feel as nice for quality, of course, as the regular Jordan 38 with this leather material, right? But on foot, it doesn't feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's still pretty, it feels a little bit thicker, but it conforms to your foot pretty well, right? And there's no pinching or anything at all. So here in the toe box, it feels nice on foot, right? But of course, it's not as good for quality. And of course, we also have this like woven material, right? So it's very similar to the regular Jordan 38, pretty much the exact same, you know. And also underneath that, we have this kind of like underlaying material. As you guys can see, it's a little bit easier to see here in the low version, right? So you can see that my finger kind of pokes out, right? So underneath that, we have this kind of polyester material that's connected to the tongue, which is, it's like a half booty construction tongue, but it goes underneath this, right? So we have better support, and obviously that'll be very good for ventilation, but underneath that, we have another material. So anyways, there's that. And also we have a synthetic material with all this embroidery, which looks really dope. I like how it looks. You know, it's all on the lateral side and the heel, all the way in the back of the heel, and also on the medial side. Very similar to the regular Jordan 38. Look at that. But it's not really that much different, right? It's just a little bit easier to see the embroidered material with this colorway, right? For the tongue, it's pretty much identical as well. We have this kind of like lip, like on top of the tongue. There's not a crazy amount of padding. I would say like an average amount of padding. And also where like the bottom of the tongue is, we have these triangle cutouts for ventilation, and it's identical to the Jordan 38 low as well. One thing I like about the low a little bit better, however, is the lining material, right? So it's this like polyester material, but there's kind of like this cross-layered stitching on it, which kind of reminds me of like a very nice luxury car, like the interior of it, like the seats, you know. So it's not super well padded, right? I would say there's an average amount of padding, but it does feel pretty nice on foot. As far as the material quality goes, it feels a lot better here in the ankle area for the lows. So yeah, I mean, it's not that much different on foot. You know what I mean? It feels literally the exact same. If I'm nitpicking, you know, I would say the Jordan 38 just feels a little bit softer and also a little bit thinner here in the toe box, but that's about it. You know what I mean? And also, I guess the fact that you have something over your ankle bone, because this is a high and this is a low, but pretty much it feels identical, right? And now moving on to the fit. Identical fit to the Jordan 38 as well. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of length, right? So length-wise, I definitely wish I went true to size. So if you want a super duper snug fit, then go true to size. However, I did go up half a size for the regular 38 and also the 38 low. And here in the toe box, it's a pretty snug fit, and width-wise, it is kind of narrow, especially with this plastic piece right here. I can definitely feel that a little bit on my pinky toe, right? So yeah, it's literally the exact same fit as the regular Jordan 38. So if you know what size you are here in this shoe, go the exact same size here in low as well, and it's a pretty good fit for me, you know, going up half a size. So for most people, I would suggest going up half a size because it is a pretty snug fit. Just be careful going true to size because it is going to be squeeze your foot a little bit, right? So there's the fit there. Moving on to the support and lockdown, I mean, I didn't really have any issues with support and lockdown with the Jordan 38, so I feel like it wouldn't be an issue here in the low as well. The only thing I would worry about is heel slippage, I guess, but I'm not really experiencing any type of heel slippage. So yeah, lockdown feels good. And of course, for lateral containment, look at it. I mean, you should be good to go. I was fine here in the regular 38. You have all these plastic pieces coming up, acting as a sidewall, you know, same thing here in the low, and here in the forefoot, here in the midfoot, and there's an internal TPU heel counter. So that feels good as well. You know, you have a pretty wide base too, so lateral stability is probably gonna be good, just like in the regular Jordan 38. So, and also, to be honest, the regular 38 didn't really have amazing ankle support either. So yeah, it's a very similar feeling shoe. You know what I mean? I'm pretty curious about the weight though. I mean, you would expect the load to be lighter, but I don't think it's gonna be that much lighter, honestly, right? So 12.85 ounces for the low, and let's check the regular 38. 12.55 ounces. That's pretty interesting. The high is lighter. Let's check the other shoe of the low. 12.75. Yeah, so the regular version is a little bit lighter, surprisingly, right? Maybe it's because of this material with the synthetic, right? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you can't really notice like 0.3 ounces. It's not a huge difference. It just literally, it feels very, very similar. Pretty much identical on foot, you know what I mean? So there's the weight there. Moving on to the aesthetics. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I like the lows a little bit better, right? Looks just cleaner. I definitely feel like lows just look better. And also this colorway I think looks a little bit better as well comparing to this colorway of the high. So tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah. I'll play in these and check it out, but it literally feels exactly the same as the Jordan 38. You know what I mean? Like the only difference being the toe box on how it feels on foot. You know what I mean? And also I guess the high, but like I said, you feel a little something on your ankle bone, but it doesn't like offer that much ankle support. So literally it feels identical on foot to me, you know what I mean, with subtle differences. So I am going to play in these, but I don't think I'm going to do a full performance review because it feels pretty much the exact same as the regular 38. And like I said, you know, if you want to save $25, just get the low version, you know what I mean. I don't know why they put it down so much as far as the price goes for the low version, because it's pretty much the exact same shoe. I guess the material quality isn't as good, but I mean $25 cheaper is kind of, you know, it doesn't make sense as far as like a business perspective, but as a consumer, that's all good for us. Yeah, like I said, if you want to save 25 bucks, get the low version, but also the regular, like the high version is on sale for 150 bucks, right? But anyways, that about concludes my detailed look and review of the Jordan 38 low. Again, if you guys want to call, I'll try to leave in the link in the description box for both of these shoes. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.